Today's episode of Off the Timeline is titled George Springer, the Clutch King Who Unretired His Way to Cooperstown. What do you get when he makes postseason home runs, Canadian adoration, and a suspicious number of hamstring injuries? No, not the Blue Jays 2023 medical report. We're talking about George Chelston Springer III, the man who swung his way into Cooperstown, unretired twice, and once got booed for robbing Mookie Betts of a home run with a smile on his face. Today, we're breaking down the wild, weird, and syrup-drenched Hall of Fame career of baseball's most lovable chaos agent. Let's dive into George Springer, the clutch king who unretired his way to Cooperstown. Chapter 1: The Blueprint. Springer's baseball career began like most legends, being drafted by the wrong team and accidentally rewriting MLB history. In our timeline, the Houston Astros scooped him up and rebuilt around his power-speed combo, but in this alternate universe, the Toronto Blue Jays spun the magical wheel of chaos in 2011, and it landed on George Springer. Houston wept. Canada rejoiced. Somewhere in the middle, Mookie Betts quietly took notes. Springer became the centerpiece of a Toronto team that hadn't been relevant since Joe Carter touched them all, and hadn't been fun since half their lineup had mullets. Within 5 years, he'd helped the Jays win a World Series and become the greatest non-hockey player north of the border not named Kawhi. Chapter 2: George the Homer Dropper. Let's be clear, George Springer didn't just hit home runs. He destroyed baseballs at the most inconvenient times for the other team. Whether it was a 3-run blast in Game 6 of the ALCS, a walk-off in the wild card round, or that time he stole the spotlight from Jose Bautista's bat flip with a bat flip of his own. Springer lived for drama like a baseball-playing Broadway actor. Over his career, he racked up 17 postseason home runs, placing him top 5 all-time in that category and first in home runs that made opposing relievers cry into their towels. Chapter 3: The Mookie Rivalry. Of course, what's a king without a worthy rival? Enter Mookie Betts, aka Mr. Fundamentals, aka New York's most marketable megastar. While Springer was mashing walk-offs in Toronto, Mookie was quietly building a highlight reel in pinstripes and releasing cologne called Legacy by Mookie. Their duels became baseball's most social media friendly rivalry. Stolen home runs, dugout chirps, Instagram shade, and once a maple syrup tossing incident involving Jays fans, a Betts flyout, and 14 security guards. Their beef became so iconic, someone made a 10-part documentary called The War on Third Base: Springer versus Betts. Chapter 4: Injuries, Comebacks, and First Retirement. By his mid-30s, Springer had 6 All-Star nods, a World Series MVP, 400-plus home runs, and a body held together by positive vibes. In 2025, he retired. It was emotional. There are hugs. There are tributes. Drake cried, but 6 months later, Springer unretires. Chapter 5. Springer pulled a Tom Brady, but cooler and with more flannel. He returned to the Blue Jays in 2026, part-time DH, full-time fan favorite. He hit 13 home runs, including a Yankee eliminating blast that caused Betts to break a bat in slow motion, so memeable it was framed in the Rogers Center. In 2028, he joined the Phillies, where he promptly hit a walk-off in his first game. Why? Because George Springer was forged in the fires of late-inning tension. His final stat line across his bonus years: 26 home runs, a million goosebumps, and one truly terrible bunting attempt we will never speak of again. Chapter 6: The Hall of Fame Campaign. Springer's Hall of Fame case wasn't automatic, but it was undeniable. Over 2,200 hits, 412 home runs, 61 more, and a postseason track record that made Derek Jeter say respect. He climbed the ballot slowly: 48%, 61%, then 70%, and finally 76.3%. On his 5th ballot, Cooperstown called. Springer answered with a bat flip. Chapter 7: The Speech. Springer's induction speech had it all: heartfelt family thanks, emotional nods to Toronto, and the perfect amount of spice to Mookie. Thanks for keeping me honest, and for catching that ball in 2023. I'm still salty. He quoted Pokemon. He thanked a hot dog vendor from Buffalo. He ended with, I play this game with joy, and if I made you smile, even when I struck out, then I did my job. The crowd sobbing. The Blue Jays releasing a limited edition syrup bottle. Betts posting the world's most backhanded Instagram tribute. Chapter 8: The Legacy. So what is George Springer's legacy? He didn't have Trout's numbers. He didn't have Ohtani's spectacle. But he had moments, enough for 5 careers. He made Canada believe. He annoyed Mookie just enough. He returned not once, but twice just to squeeze a little more joy out of the game. And when the final chapter was written, the bat was laid down, not because it had to be, but because the legend finally got his storybook ending. Thanks for watching this journey through George Springer's epic, chaotic, hilarious ride to the Hall of Fame. Smash that like button, like Springer smashes first pitch fastballs. Drop a comment with your favorite Springer moment or your favorite petty Mookie quote. And subscribe if you love alternate baseball timelines, postseason dramas, and players who just refuse to go away. This has been the Clutch King who unretired his way to Cooperstown, and I'll see you in the comments.